Oh yeah, is it Saturday already? Have we made it through yet another week of Star Wars news? Diego Luna has dropped a bombshell on the Star Wars fandom as he has said that Andor Season 2 will change the way we look at Star Wars forever, specifically the way we look at Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which is absolutely insane because how can a prequel to that movie make that drastic of a change? What the hell is coming in Andor Season 2? We got to talk about it. Also, we can't forget that this week we got crazy announcements like Ahsoka Season 2 has started filming, and we are only 20 days away. Yeah, that's right. 20 days away from Star Wars Celebration and 24 days away from the premiere of Andor Season 2. So without further ado, let's dive into all of this. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Saturday afternoon? Okay, so Diego Luna sort of blew everybody's mind over the last couple days as he said that this second season of Andor will change everything. And not to quote Luthen or anything, but everything is pretty damn important. So what that means, we're going to talk about it. We're going to read the article and see what he actually said and get into all that stuff. But before we do any of that, first things first, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? All right. I'm feeling good today, chat. I'm feeling extra good because guess what? This is, in fact, the last stream of the month. And you know what that means, chat? You know what that means? It's giveaway time. So today we do have a giveaway that will happen later on in the stream. So if you are not yet a member, you have a chance to steal it away from one of the great 100 plus. We are at 100 plus for the first time ever in memberships. So that's today. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's say hi to everybody in the chat, shall we? Melissa, what's up? West, how we doing? Darth Vader, how we doing? Darth Vader's in the chat. We'll talk about you later. Kit Fisto, what is up? Mando United, how we doing? Cole Colwyn, what is up? Another Mike who loves Star Wars, how we doing? Star Edits, what is up? Starchip66 in the house. Justin, what's up? Kit Fisto, how we doing? Dom, what is up? Haja in the house. Troy, what is up? Brandon Baker, how we doing? 730 Evie, what is up? Mike in the house. And Mike, myself. Darth Plagueis lives, how we doing? The Galactic Cantina, what is up? Freddie in the building. King Shadow, what is up? The Max Rebo Experience, how we doing? Nathan in the building. Okay, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little,
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, now before we get to any of this, did you guys see? Give me a one into the chat if you saw this. I think it was on Wednesday, maybe Thursday. I forget. Did you guys see the MCU Marvel Studios live stream where they brought out all those director's chairs and they did this huge announcement of all these different characters coming back? Did you guys see that? Tell me in the chat. Did you see this crazy Marvel thing? I know it's not Star Wars, but did you see the Marvel thing? Tell me in the chat. Because it's pretty damn cool, and I definitely want to talk about it for a second. But before we do that, because there's a huge Star Wars announcement that's attached to that. Before we do it, let's talk about the giveaway today. The giveaway today is a pretty simple, blind, if you will, one. You'll get that joke in a second. Because today's giveaway for one very special member for the month of March will be, and you might not be able to see out of it, but that's okay. Neither could they. A Stormtrooper helmet from Art Sabers. Yes, we love Art Sabers over here. They're the ones who generously gifted me this lightsaber that sits behind me. This is, I mean, I want one. I really want one, but this is for you guys. This is the giveaway. So a helmet that may make you lose your vision. However, this is what that will do. So the Stormtrooper helmet is the giveaway today. It is very, very cool. It's very sleek and original, I guess. We are talking about the original trilogy. We are talking about Stormtroopers today. There will be a ton of Stormtroopers in Andor Season 2, so I thought it was only right to give away a Stormtrooper helmet. But that will happen later on in the live stream, so stay tuned for that. We also might do, if we have time today, we might do some call-ins as well. But until we get to that, let's get rid of this, and let's go. You were guessing the Stranger's helmet when you said blind? Well, he can see through that because he uses the Force. Okay, but, so did you guys see that Marvel MCU thing? Yes? No? Maybe so? So it was about a, I don't know, 5-6 hour live stream. It was like the longest live stream ever. In about every 10 to 15 minutes, they brought out a new director's chair that said another actor's name on it. So it started with Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor. Then it goes to like Vanessa Kirby, who's going to play Invisible Woman in the Fantastic Four. And then it goes to like Anthony Mackie, who's the new Captain America, Paul Rudd, who's Ant-Man, all that stuff. There was a pretty big one. This was pretty wild. So that was the cast, by the way, for Avengers Doomsday that comes out next year. There's a pretty big one for Star Wars fans out there, as this was enormous. Yeah. Somehow Palpatine will return in Avengers Doomsday. This was sort of shown off screen. This was a secret side stream on the thing. You know, this was the thing. You know, yeah. Oh my God, Palpatine's in the chat right now. Yo, Palps, you in Avengers Doomsday? So yeah. No, this is a joke. Chat. I see some of you not getting the joke. This is a joke. This is a joke. I guess this one flew over your heads. Okay. Yeah, this is no, Palpatine will not be in Avengers Doomsday, at least as far as we're aware. I don't know. Okay. So, sorry. That was a little bit for my own amusement. You know? Let's not forget this is all about me. It's about me. No, I'm kidding. But that was pretty fun. Okay. So, let's talk about this Andor stuff, shall we? And as we're talking about it, let's not forget that the marketing has begun, let's say. There's been shorts and a billion different trailers that have been released online that we've watched on this channel, but posters still exist in the real world. Big old billboards still happen. I know, crazy, right? People look up at billboards. That's wild. But they still do exist, and here's a billboard for Andor Season 2. I have no idea where this is, but this is a critically acclaimed. The critically acclaimed series does return. Andor Season 2, streaming on April 22nd. And I've seen a bunch of these billboards out there. They all have the same image. Stormtroopers, which, by the way, we're giving away a Stormtrooper helmet today if you didn't see that already. Stormtroopers walking through that farm planet that Bix and Brazos and B2 are on. Now, there's fire behind them. That's not usually a good sign. As we know that many of them will likely die on that planet. But, you know, it's only 7 minutes into the live stream. We'll keep the death predictions for a couple more minutes at least. Okay, but that's the Andor Season 2 posters that are going around. But now let's talk about what Diego Luna himself, Cassian Andor, the man, the myth, the legend himself, had to say about Andor Season 2. Okay? And actually, before we do this, let's put up a poll in the chat, shall we? If you have not smashed a freaking like on this stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Get on that. That's what that first poll says, as per usual. But are you excited for Andor Season 2? So we are getting close, chat. 24 days away. And as we always do when we lead up to these Star Wars shows, I ask, are you excited? And usually, about 6 months out, it's like, yeah, sure, I guess 50-50, 60-40, maybe. And then as we get closer and closer and closer, it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher. So I'm very interested to see where the excitement level is at for Andor Season 2, only 24 days away. And that excitement level might grow even more when you hear what Diego Luna has to say. So let's take a look at this. Oh, you can't see that. That would be that much better. Andor star Diego Luna urges Star Wars fans to watch Rogue One immediately after Season 2 ends. As he says, you're going to see it differently. Exclusive. Diego Luna and Tony Gilroy share their thoughts on how Season 2 sets up Rogue One. All right. Let's talk about it. There he is. It's been known that Andor Season 2 will lead directly into the events of Rogue One, with showrunner Tony Gilroy even confirming that the series' final shot sets up the film. So we can kind of talk about what that means in a second, but the opening scene of Rogue One is a flashback to when Jyn Erso's a child and Krennic comes to her home and steals her dad away, Galen Erso. to build the Death Star. So that's probably not the opening scene we're talking about. We're most likely talking about the opening scene with Cassian, where he is going into that alleyway with the one-armed dude who he kills in cold blood. Because this is all about Cassian. But now star Diego Luna has gone one step further and recommended that audience get the movie ready to go as soon as the show ends on Disney Plus. Because it changes. This is what Diego Luna had to say. If you have your DVD, oh my God. We've gotten to the point here, chat, where DVD, Blu-ray, do those even exist anymore? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Get your DVD or Blu-ray of Rogue One. You should plug it in. Okay, now you're really dating yourself. Plug things in. That doesn't happen anymore. Plug it in as soon as the season ends, and you'll see a film that will be re-signified. Yeah, there you go. Diego Luna says in this new interview with SFX Magazine, which features Black Mirror Season 7 on the cover, is out now. And he goes on to say this. You're going to see it very differently, with so much information that you didn't have before. You knew nothing about this bunch of rebels that got together and made this sacrifice in Rogue One, as he dies in Rogue One. And then you did get a show of 24 episodes about one of them, Cassian, of course. I definitely believe it's going to change the experience because it's now so full of answers, almost many more than you ever wanted when you watched Rogue One. Like, who's Cassian's mother? Nobody was really asking that. And who was the first droid he had a strong connection with? Again, nobody was asking that. And how was his bedroom? Again, nobody was asking that, but we do have the answers to those questions. You've seen enough of this man now that you will go, oh shit, that's what he meant. Now, this is very important. We get a lot of sort of open-ended scenes in Rogue One, a lot of backstory for Cassian. In the oh shit, that's what he meant will be said quite a bit after we've watched Season 2 and rewatch Rogue One. Because this will not only tell the beginning of the rebellion through Cassian's eyes, but it will also show us how these characters got to where they are during the events of the original trilogy and Rogue One. I see Rogue One as sort of a extension of the original trilogy. It's, sort of in that same vein. But it's going to look completely different now that we have the backstory to those characters. Now, this is not the first time that this has happened in Star Wars. This is not at all the first time that this has happened. The prequel trilogy, ever heard of it? The prequel trilogy does a very similar thing here. When you look back at the original trilogy, and now you have all this prior knowledge of, one, what the Clone Wars is. In A New Hope, Obi-Wan drops this line of, oh, your father, yeah, I fought alongside him during the time of the Clone Wars. And we're all like, well, what the hell's the Clone Wars? And now we have the prequel trilogy and 7 seasons of a Clone Wars animated series to tell us what that Clone Wars is. So now when you watch A New Hope, you hear that Clone Wars line and you go, oh my God, and your mind flashes to the crazy battle scenes of the Clone Wars. The Clone Wars. And that's what Andor Season 1 and Season 2 are doing for Rogue One, but not only Rogue One, the original trilogy as well. Rogue One did a similar thing for A New Hope too. When you watch A New Hope, the biggest question you ask is, how the hell did Princess Leia get the Death Star plans? The opening scroll says, oh yeah, this secret mission to get the Death Star plans, it worked, and now Leia has it. Okay, well, I want to see that. And then Rogue One gives it to you. Rogue One gives you the questions or the answers to your questions. And honestly, since George Lucas made Star Wars in 1977, you could argue that everything since then has just been filling in the gaps of all the questions that he asked in that movie. All the unanswered, open-ended statements that are made about the Clone Wars, about the last time we met, I was but the learner, now I am the master. I haven't felt that since. And then he walks away. Like all these blanket statements, all these open-ended questions of what the hell does that mean? Who the hell is this? What is that? Who is that? Pretty much for the last 48 years, we've just been answering the questions that George Lucas left open-ended in A New Hope. And we are still doing that. Andor Season 2 comes out in 24 days, and we're still answering those questions. So, Rogue One does it. The prequel trilogy does it. Andor's going to do it. Kenobi does it big time. I mean, when we see Vader versus Obi-Wan, the last time they met was not in Revenge of the Sith. It's in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And Kenobi also explains why Leia has a kid and names it Ben when she didn't really have a relationship with Obi-Wan. Well, now she does. And it gives you a lot more backstory as to what happens in between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy within those characters. So, still, Andor Season 2 is going to continue down this similar route. Oh my God, Orson Krennic's in the chat. I got a feeling that you guys are all just changing your names to all these random Star Wars characters. But whatever. Having said that, yes, Andor Season 2 is going to change Star Wars forever, much like Andor Season 1 did, and Rogue One did, and the prequel trilogy did, and the Clone Wars did. Every single Star Wars project, for the most part, has added to the story of the Skywalker saga in one way or another. The rebellion with Andor, or just the actual main characters of Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Palpatine in the prequel trilogy. However, when it comes to Andor Season 2, there's a lot of unanswered questions that we have no idea are coming in this second season. Much like Season 1, we went in completely blind. We didn't know Aldhani was coming. We were going to get to see the Eye. We didn't know that we were going to get to see all these incredible new characters like Nemik, like Skeen, like Kino Loy, and they all eventually die. Kino Loy's still up in the air, I guess. No body, no death. But we didn't know we were going to see any of that. The Narkina 5 prison arc, One Way Out, Marva's speech, who the hell is Marva? We didn't know any of this. New characters, Bix, Dedra, Cyril. Who could have thought we would love a guy who just sits there and eats cereal with his mom all day? It's crazy. So what's coming in Andor Season 2? Well, that's the question. And whatever it is, Diego Luna says it's going to change the way you watch Rogue One and probably the way you look at Star Wars forever. So let's keep reading. So as he says, oh shit, that's what he meant. That's what you will do when you go back and watch. Now, he does mention B2, who was his first strong connection with a droid, and it was B2. I mean, guys, we got to start thinking logically here. Is it time for us to talk about B2 dying? Chat? I know. You don't want to have that conversation, but it's got to be had. Okay? Okay. Moving on. However, unlike Diego Luna, showrunner Tony Gilroy admits that he's been quite reluctant to go back and look at how this impacts Rogue One. Interesting. As he says, he's been very timid about going back to look at it. But he says he believes it certainly has to affect very deeply our relationship with Cassian Andor. Of course, we have learned so much about this individual character that we see in Rogue One. It's much like Vader and Anakin. We know who Vader is in the original trilogy. We see him get redeemed by his son in Return of the Jedi, but we really don't know who Anakin was. And the prequel trilogy gives us a whole explanation. 7 seasons of a show, 3 movies. How much more information could you want? Hang on, we got super chats and memberships. I'll get to it in 1 sec. All right, here we go. First of all, I Hodja with a 9-month membership badge. Holy crap. It says 9 nerdy, marvelous months. Could not have put it better myself. I want to know how the Bonthas, got the plans and how many died before Return of the Jedi. That could be Rogue 2 and the Bonthador to follow. What? Yes. So many people have brought that up. So first of all, say hi to yourselves in the chat. But I'll get rid of it for now. So the Bothans, whatever the hell they're called. Mon Mothma says that many of them died to get us these plans, but that's in Return of the Jedi. That's for the second Death Star. So hey, maybe there is a story there. Possibly. A Rogue 2, if you will. But I appreciate it, Hodja. 9 months is absolutely insane. I appreciate it. Troy with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that as well. Says, beyond excited for season 2. Can't wait to see your reaction and breakdowns on every episode. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. But I can't wait either. I'm hoping, really hoping, that this season is better than the first. Not that the first season was bad. I did not say that. I didn't say that. Did I say that? Nope, I didn't say that. But season 1 was met with quite the, per usual, split in the Star Wars fandom. People calling it Andor, complaining about this, complaining about that, all that fun stuff. The usual. And the viewership numbers were pretty low, to say the least, for Andor season 1. So I'm hoping, really hoping, that season 2, first of all, gets those numbers up, because that's a must at this point, and delivers an incredible story. Now, here's the deal. Season 1 is covering just 1 year, one arc, and that's Cassian as he joins the rebellion. That's it. So the first 12 episodes are all about 1 year. This second season, as we know, is going to cover 4 years throughout the course of 3 episode arcs. So every 3 episodes is going to be a new year leading up to Rogue One. So that means we're just going to hit the best points, if you will. So if you take season 1 and dumb it down to 3 episodes and dumb it down to the 3 best episodes, that's your 3 episode arc for season 2. So let's say Aldani is 1 episode. Narkina 5 is another episode. And Marva's speech is the 3rd episode. So you take the 3 best episodes from season 1. Now that's just 1 arc in season 2. That's why I think the possibility here for season 2 to be vastly better, possibly 4 times better than season 1 is on the table here. I think we could be getting one of the greatest seasons of television. Now, here's the thing. If it's not, it's not. And we're going to say that plainly. I think there's the possibility to do so when you look at how it works, how it goes down. But absolutely, Troy, I'm so unbelievably excited. And I appreciate the super chat. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. So I appreciate it. Well, let's get back to this article, since I've been so rudely interrupted. Just kidding. Okay. Yes, it affects our way that we look at Cassian Andor. Andor season 2 begins on Disney Plus on April 22nd in the US and April 23rd in the UK. Oh, because it airs at midnight. I get it. Read more of the latest issue, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So there you have it. Cassian Andor saying that you're going to see Rogue One completely different after you watch Andor season 2. Much like when you watch A New Hope now with the prior knowledge of the prequel trilogy of Rogue One and Andor season 1, you have so much more information as to how, why, when, where all these characters came together and how it works, how the Death Star plans got to Leia, how Cassian's involved with that story, and the backstory for Obi-Wan and Palpatine and Vader and all those legacy characters. So Andor season 2 is just giving us a very, and I mean very, similar arc when it comes to that. And Diego Luna says it will change the way you see Rogue One. So let's talk about it. How on earth will season 2 of Andor change the way we look at Rogue One? Great question. First of all, you got to look at some of the characters that we already know will be in season 2. We know Krennic will be there. We know K2SO will be there. We know Cassian will be there. We know Melshi will be there. You got. Is that it? Is that it for Rogue One characters that we know of? Chat. I feel like we're going to get a lot more familiar faces as we watch the trailer, and we'll get to it again. The big debate of this week is Dedra being force choked by Darth Vader. That, and then we have possibility of seeing Palpatine, which I think is far more likely than even Vader. But seeing familiar faces that we see in Rogue One in Andor season 2 is far more likely than in season 1, because in season 1 we didn't really get anybody except for Melshi, and that was about it. And Saw Gerrera, I guess. Oh, Saw and Mon Mothma, yeah, Saw and Mon Mothma too. True. But that's it, right? So you got Krennic, you got K2SO, Cassian, Saw, Mon, and Melshi. 6 characters. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes, of course. Okay. Adi K with a very generous $5 haul brings up a great point. Luthen's backstory. I think it'll shock us. Let's hear a sunset. We'll never see. Oh, you want me to do an impression of that? Okay, I can. first let's talk about it. So not only is, yes, Andor Season 2 going to set up the Rogue One story and the original trilogy, let's put it, but we're also going to get a backstory for the character of Luthen. Now, it's highly likely that Luthen will die in Season 2, much like a lot of the characters that we don't see in Rogue One. Your Bixes, your Brazoses, your B2s, they all start with Bs apparently. They're going to be dead by the end of Season 2. Your Luthens, your Cleas, your Vels, your Cintas, those characters are likely to be dead by the end of this season, which is pretty damn wild when you think about it, because those characters were set up for greatness in the first season and probably going to have a great arc in Season 2 as well. But we know their story has to come to an end because they're not in Rogue One. So now, when you watch Rogue One, you will have the feeling, the emotions of knowing those characters, knowing Luthen, Bix, Brazos, B2, all these characters died for this cause. It's not just Cassian, it's not just Jyn Erso, it's not the Rogue One squad that just dies on Scarif. It's all the characters that came before. The rebellion is built off of these characters that build it up, like Luthen, like Kanan and Jarrus, when you bring in other, I guess, sections of the rebellion with Star Wars Rebels. The rebellion didn't start with just Luke Skywalker and Leia. It wasn't just Luke, Han, and Obi-Wan go into the Death Star to save Princess Leia in A New Hope. It's a decade of story before that. And that's what Andor Season 2 is going to pretty much put an end cap on. We've seen all the other stories. We've seen 4 seasons of Rebels. We've seen the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. We've seen the first season of Andor and Rogue One. Andor Season 2 might be the final piece to the puzzle when it comes to building the rebellion. Think about it. What else are you going to put in this time period? It's so jam-packed, these 5 years from the Battle of Yavin to 5 years before it. You have Andor Season 1, Season 2, and Rogue One. You have Rebels Season 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's a lot of storytelling. I don't think they're going to add any more to that. So Andor Season 2 might be the final piece to the puzzle when it comes to this time period. Absolutely. What about Andor Season 2.5? Well, that's not happening. Okay, but we did have another super chat. Hang on. Another Mike who loves Star Wars with a very generous $5 haul. You guys are feeling extra generous today. I appreciate that. His prediction. Andor Season 2 will take place... will take the place... Oh, sorry. Of Mike's single favorite season over Ahsoka. Okay. Let me explain to you why that is so ridiculously hard to do. Okay? And I don't think it's impossible. That's what's crazy. I think Andor Season 2 could, yes, like Mike says, take the place of my favorite season of all time. It could. It absolutely could. Now, granted, it has the first season to back it up, and it has Rogue One after it, and Rogue One's a top 3 Star Wars movie, in my personal opinion. But the reason it's so difficult is because of Ahsoka itself. Ahsoka's my third favorite character of all time. Anakin is my first. The fact that the two of them battle in the World Between Worlds is not only epic, but it might be the most epic thing I've ever seen in Star Wars. But not only that, you got to start with the fact that Rebels is my favorite show of all time. You bring all of those Rebels casts into live action in Ahsoka. You get brand new great characters like Baylan Skoll and Shin Hati. You got brand new lore in the Star Wars universe with a brand new galaxy that ties in the Night Sisters and the Purrgil from Rebels, where Thrawn and Ezra went, the cliffhanger that ends on Rebels Season 4 that happened 7 years before it. You give Grand Admiral Thrawn in live action for the first time. You set up the heir to the Empire. Like, Ahsoka accomplishes so much in just 8 episodes. So yes, Andor does have 12 episodes, and it has the possibility to accomplish so much. It's going to be really, really difficult. Really difficult. Yeah. But, hey, never say never. Never say never. Okay. Now, with that being said, I know a lot of you guys see Andor Season 1 as your favorite season of all time, and tell me if that's you in the chat. But do you think that Andor Season 2 could be or will be better than Andor Season 1? Yes or no? What do we think? Don't forget about Auntie K's impression. Oh, shit, I almost did. Thank you. Auntie K said, never sunset that we'll never see. Yes, okay. Let's see that. Thank you, Rose. Luthen. Hey, anytime I get to see Luthen say stuff, count me in. Luthen, as he says, sunset he will never see. Shit. It's at some point in his monologue, isn't it? But at what point? This is how great Andor is, okay? The Luthen monologue was posted by Star Wars official account, and it has 2 million views. That's how great this show is. Okay? Okay. But I think it's towards the end, right?
To defeat them. I burn my decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never see.
There it is. Luthen's voice is very hard to do. I burn my life. That's pretty good. Okay.
Sure. I burn my life.
I burn my life for a sunrise I'll never see. Huh.
To make a sunrise that I know I'll never see.
To make a sunrise that I'll know I'll never see. That's a tough voice to do. You guys try it. God damn. Let's try it one more time.
Decency for someone else's future. I burn my life to make a sunrise that I know I'll never.
I burn my life for a sunrise that I know I'll never see. That's tough. Oh, so good. Let's get to when he says everything.
Or an audience or the light of gratitude. So what do I sacrifice? Everything!
It's that little, it's very subtle, but it's the boom after he says everything, okay? After he says everything, listen for the boom.
Everything!
So good. It's so good, chat. So good. Okay, sorry. But I appreciate the super chats. I really, really do. Oh my God, you guys are feeling insanely generous today. Darth Plagueis lives with a $10 holla. Holy crap. Says 24 days until Andor Season 2. I know. 24 days. It's literally right around the corner. And let's not forget to, because we're going to talk about Andor Season 2 a lot today, that Star Wars Celebration is also in 20 days. Where we're going to be getting a Mandalorian Season 2, Mandalorian Season 2, Mandalorian and Grogu movie teaser trailer, a Ahsoka Season 2 teaser trailer that probably won't be released publicly, but even still, an Andor Season 2 trailer, or at least updates and stuff like that, because it's a couple days before. New animated shows announced, new live action shows announced, updates on all these new movies, Sean Levy's movie, Simon Kinberg's trilogy, James Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi, the Rey movie. Like, we're going to get so much announcements just a couple days before Andor Season 2. So this month of April, which we're about to go into, because this is the last live stream of March, is going to be insanity. Like, you thought the news that we got for the last month has been crazy, because it has. But it's not even the tip of the iceberg. What they have planned for Star Wars Celebration is going to blow our freaking minds. Multiple animated shows, multiple live action shows, updates on all the movies, announcements for new movies. It's going to be insane. And to top it all off, Andor Season 2 is 2 days later. It's really crazy when you think about it. It might be the craziest week for Star Wars news ever. From that Friday, April 18th, to the following Friday, it might be the craziest week of all time. Because the following Friday, see if my math is right. Yeah, the following Friday is the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith returning to the movie theaters. That's how you end the week. 3 days of Star Wars Celebration, the premiere of 3 episodes of Andor Season 2. Yeah, 3 episodes. And to end the week off, you have the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. It might be the greatest week of Star Wars ever. Ever! It's an Andor movie that week. 3 episodes. An Andor movie. Andor Season 2, movie part 1. The quadrilogy, chat. We're getting part 1 of the quadrilogy that week. It's crazy. But getting back to Darth Plagueis is very generous. $10 hollow super chat. There's 24 days until Andor season 2. Yes. Is it possible for a character like Cal Kestis to show up in season 2? Okay. Well, first things first, let's ask the chat. Do you guys think Cal Kestis will be in Andor season 2? I'm going to say no, but you ask, is it possible? Which makes it a little bit more difficult here. Okay, so here's the predicament you put me in. Andor season 1 has nada in terms of cameos or anything like that. However, it does have Luthen's gallery where it's got Starkiller's mask and Mando armor and Twi'lek references and Gungan shields and all this crazy stuff. Plo Koon's mask, like just wild stuff. They've mentioned of the Rakatan Empire for the first time in Star Wars canon. Like there's some pretty wild lore stuff in Andor season 1, but no cameos. Now season 2, Tony Gilroy has said we don't just throw in cameos for no reason. There has to be a purpose towards the story, which doesn't mean no cameos. I mean, you look at like Mandalorian season 2, there's so many cameos in there. Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano, Bo-Katan, Luke Skywalker. But those all serve the purpose of the story. So a character like Darth Vader, a character like Bail Organa or Palpatine even, that would service the story, but also being a cameo. So that could still work. But you also have to throw in there that Rogue One is also the same creatives, and it has Vader, it has Tarkin, it has Leia, it has Bail Organa. So I think just like Andor season 2 is going to bridge the gap between Andor season 1 and Rogue One, it also might bridge the gap of no cameos and a lot of cameos with a few cameos. If that makes sense. Now, with that being said, do I think Cal Kestis will be in the show? No. But less crazy cameos like Palpatine, like Vader, like a Bail Organa, I would say are pretty likely. Not definitely, not impossible, but right in the middle. Yeah. Swagger like us, what's up? Swagger says, cameos in this sense make the galaxy look seem very small. I get that. Yeah, the Star Wars galaxy is this vast, huge galaxy. If you bring in characters like that, it feels small. I agree with you to an extent. If you were to bring in a character like Cal Kestis, yes, that would make the galaxy feel small. Cal Kestis is a Jedi. He's hiding from the Empire. This Andor show is so much about the Empire. Also, Cal's not involved in Rogue One. Cal's not involved in the original trilogy, so his appearance wouldn't really make sense. However, cameos like Vader or Palpatine wouldn't make the world feel small because, first of all, this show takes place on Coruscant. That's where Palpatine lives. That's where Palpatine has his headquarters out of. This is where Palpatine operates, Coruscant. So it wouldn't make it feel small if a character like Palpatine showed up because it's the Empire, because he's the leader of that. But I agree with you, Cal Kestis would sort of not really work. Yeah. Supposedly, Omega, a Star Wars story, will be announced at Star Wars Celebration. I do think that an Omega project will be announced. I just don't think it'll be like a Omega movie or anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. Fearless, what's up? How many cameos will be in this show? I have no idea. If they're going to go the route of Vader and Palpatine, I could see like 3 or 4, but that's about it, you know? You know? Dom says, chat, I'm back. Would you guys believe me if I said a part of my door fell off while I was getting my DoorDash? I mean, that would be a pretty hard story to come up with. So, yes. Okay. But now that we got so completely off topic, let's go back to what Diego Luna had to say about this, okay? So, yes, when you watch Rogue One after you have seen season 2 of Andor, your whole perspective is going to change. Because when you look at it, you're going to know all this backstory of Cassian Andor, but you will have seen 24 episodes about this character and about all the other, I guess, inner workings of the rebellion. Because we've known about the rebellion for so long. It's in A New Hope. It's on Yavin 4. We know about Mon Mothma. We know about Bail Organa. We know about the rebellion. At least we thought we did. Until Andor Season 2 throws in a massive character like Luthen. And Luthen is one of the main leaders of said rebellion. Honestly, when I think about it, and this is a little off what I'm about to say here, but when you look at a character like Luthen, it still tells you that you can integrate a very important character into the Star Wars timeline at any point, and it can work. And what I mean by that is when you look at other characters across Star Wars, like Ahsoka, for example, we were just talking about Ahsoka. Ahsoka is Anakin Skywalker's Padawan. Anakin Skywalker, the chosen one, the main character of the first 6 movies, his Padawan. She never once appears in a movie. Ever once appears in a movie, or really in any live action show up until post-original trilogy. So Ahsoka is, I guess, the first, not the first, but you know what I mean, the biggest character to be introduced in a show that takes place in between all these projects that can be so vastly important to the story of Star Wars, to the timeline of the Skywalker saga, but not ever appear in a movie. And Luthen does the same exact thing. And obviously Grogu does the same thing, and Din Djarin and all these characters in the Mandoverse. But it allows you to look at that and go, you can still do stuff like that. And we talked about this earlier on in the month, but as March is coming to an end, let's talk about it. We were talking about Mara Jade. Now, we won't spend too much time on Mara Jade here today, but we were talking about Mara Jade and the likelihood of her coming to canon, coming into the Skywalker saga, being placed into the Mandoverse in this Heir to the Empire story. And some people liked it, some people didn't like it. It's too hard because she's not mentioned in the sequels, blah, 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 whatever. But Ahsoka, Luthen, Grogu, characters like that allow us to hear something like Mara Jade being put into the Mandoverse, and it makes sense. Because Anakin Skywalker's Padawan was never mentioned or seen in any of the movies. So Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker's wife, doesn't have to be mentioned or seen in the sequel trilogy. Same with Luthen. Luthen is the leader of the rebellion, or at least one side of it, and he's never mentioned or seen or anything in anything else. Now you could be like, Mike, I mean, he wasn't even invented before all this. Obviously, but that's not how the timeline works, okay? That's not how it works. He exists before the original trilogy. Just because the original trilogy came out in our world before it doesn't mean he existed! That's how the timeline works. So, obviously, Luthen wasn't invented before the original trilogy, but he exists in timeline order before the original trilogy. All that to say, what Cassian's saying here, Diego is saying here, is that the 24 episodes that we see of these characters teach you so much about them, give you so much prior knowledge to what's happening in Rogue One and in the original trilogy than we ever had before. 24 episodes, all at about 40, 45, 50 minutes each. You're talking about, somebody do the math for me, do 45 times 24 or 50, I guess, times 24, whatever you want to do. You got a quadrilogy coming out next month. You had a quadrilogy in the first season. That's 8 more Star Wars movies. Think about it for just 1 second. Take a second. Take a beat. Think about it. We have a Skywalker saga. Ever heard of it? The prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, the sequel trilogy. That's 9 movies. The story told across those 9 movies is so vastly it's insane. It's the chosen one. It's Luke Skywalker, his son, and it's the grandchildren, Kylo Ren, and Palpatine's grandchild, Rey. That's her name. Not that I forgot. But that's 9 movies. Andor Season 1 and Season 2 is practically 8. It's crazy. And that's sort of the power of Disney Plus that we have here. We're getting movies of these television shows. So much content with these characters that it changes the story. It changes the story so vastly. It changes the way you look at Rogue One, and it will change the way you look at the original trilogy as well when you see Andor Season 2 because of these 24 episodes. But he says, you're going to see it differently. There's so much information that you didn't have before. You knew nothing about these bunch of rebels that got together and made their sacrifice in Rogue One. And then obviously what that means for the original trilogy in the Death Star plans. And then we did a show of 24 episodes about one of them, Cassian Andor, that is. I definitely believe it's going to change the experience because it's now so full of answers. By the way, like I mentioned earlier, the final piece to the puzzle. This is all the answers at once are in this story. Almost many more than you could ever want when you watch Rogue One, like who's Cassian's mother, Marva, who's his first droid, B2 EMO, and how his bedroom was. Again, questions you didn't really want answers for, but you got them anyway. You've seen enough of how this man, of this man now, sorry, that you'll be like, holy shit, that's what it means. Now, this also does mean something very interesting, because we're talking about K2SO, the character, the droid that becomes best friends with Cassian in Rogue One, but we haven't seen that yet. In in Andor Season 2 is going to tell us that story, which is very important because K2SO, how him and Cassian come to be best friends, that is going to be an extremely important story. Some fans think that B2's memory will be transferred into K2SO. I don't think that's the case. Somebody brought up the fact, actually, I think it was Diego Luna brought up the fact that those two characters have very different personalities, and I agree with him. I don't think they're the same. However, one of the coolest theories one of you guys came up with, and I don't remember who it was, so I appreciate it, whoever it was, but shout out to you. One of the greatest theories I've ever seen, because we were rewatching with the members on Sundays. We do members-only watch parties of Andor Season 1. We were rewatching the scene of the Eye, where Nemik is telling Cassian to climb. And somebody brought up the fact that in Rogue One, K2SO tells him the same thing. And they said, do you think that in Rogue One, when Cassian hears K2 say climb, he's reminded of Nemik saying climb? And then the theory was brought up. What if the manifesto that was so important that Nemik wrote in Andor Season 1 is put into the K2 droid? And that's what makes him hate the Empire. That's the programming that makes him turn into a rebel, is Nemik's manifesto. And that's also what makes K2SO feel like that character and feel familiar to Cassian, why they become best friends in Rogue One. And like Cassian saying, like you guys came up with that great theory, Rogue One has changed forever. If that's the case, if Andor Season 2 does teach us that the manifesto that Nemik wrote in Season 1 gets put into K2SO, that changes it forever. Now when you watch Rogue One, you will know that that droid that everybody loves is Nemik, in a way. And when he tells Cassian to climb, it's going to be the waterworks. It's going to be everybody going, no! And it'll be so cool. But we do have a super chat. So tell me what you think about that in the chat and let me get to this super chat. See what it did there? Manda United with a very generous $10 holla. Holy crap. You guys are so unbelievably generous. I appreciate that. Says, congrats on 135,000 subscribers. Thank you. Yes, we did just hit 135,000 subscribers today, I believe, which is absolutely insane. Any blue milk on the horizon? No. Whatever we're going to celebrate 150K with, whatever we're going to celebrate 200K with, whatever we're going to celebrate 1 million subscribers with, or a trillion subscribers with. None of it will involve blue milk. There will never be blue milk poured on my head ever again. I always say statements like that, and then I just have like a vision of when I do it again, and it's just clip it, and it's just a clip of me saying that, and then it cuts to me doing it again, because obviously you guys are going to pressure me into doing it again, and I'm gonna fold because I'm weak like that, and you guys take advantage of me. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, no, I don't see any blue milk in the future. I don't see any blue milk in the future. However, impression of your choice, please. Now that's what I like to see, Mando. That's what I like to see. You know what? I was with Samantha yesterday, or today actually, and that was this morning. So I know you guys are big Samantha fans. I'm not going to do a Samantha impression. However, we were talking about Ahsoka, which she hasn't seen yet, but we were talking about Anakin Skywalker saying...
Incorrect.
And it made me think of all my nice buttons that I have here. We got this.
Execute Order 66.
And then we got this one.
This is where the fun begins.
And then we got this one.
I got a bad feeling about this.
And then we got this one.
Hello there.
So, I'll do an impression of Execute Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
Execute Order. No, that's terrible. Hang on. Execute Order. How the fuck? No, we're changing it. Hang on. I'm changing it.
This is where the fun begins.
I'll do that one. This is where the fun begins. Yeah! Okay, sorry. Thank you, Mando United. I appreciate that. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. And if you are a member, you can also gift memberships. We've had a bunch of gifted memberships in the last couple live streams, which I appreciate so much, but I feel like people don't know about that, so it's just reminder. Okay. All right, but what do we think about this Nemec theory, chat? Could Nemec's manifesto that they focused so much on in Season 1 really be what gets put into K2SO? What changes him to be a good guy or a rebel, I guess? And then that whole him telling him to climb in Andor in Rogue One means so much more. By the way, this poll is absolutely insane. It's 99-1. Crazy. Yeah. Oh my God, Samantha's in the chat. Samantha says, I personally think that you should do the blue milk again. You know what? How about you do the blue milk? Chat, I got a great idea, chat. How about we make her do the blue milk? Because I already did it. 150K, Samantha has to pour the blue milk on her head. What do we think of that? Yes, chat? I'm seeing a bunch of yeses. I'm seeing so many yeses in the chat. Like 6,000 yeses. At least. You need to add a Luthen's everything button. I know. I got at least 4 open buttons here on my button thing, and I should put that one in for sure. Yeah. Did you see the video of Shadow of Memory, a Skywalker Saga nighttime show at Disneyland? It was so good. What? They should show it every night at Galaxy's Edge. I did not see this. What are you talking about? I did not see this. I don't know. I saw Rogue One 3 times in IMAX 3D. Nice. Incredible experience, especially during the third act / ending. Oh, yeah. I mean, Rogue One is a masterpiece. It's a lot of people's favorite Star Wars movie of all time, which is crazy when you think about it. Yeah. Ian says, I imagine doing a stream with... Wait, I'm imagining doing a stream with Leia's Danish to the style of hair style. What? You lost me there. See, look at all these yeses. Yeah, we're going to get her to dump blue milk on her head for sure. Sounds like a great idea. Look, she even said it in the chat. Where was that? She said, great idea. Sounds like a great idea. Yeah, that's exactly what she said. She said, I don't know. I really love that idea. There you go. Okay, now with that being said, let's keep reading. So getting to see his bedroom and all that stuff, things you haven't seen yet, and that make you mean, holy shit, what does that mean? Like, if K2SO says climb, and that's really Nemec saying climb like he does in Andor Season 1. Stuff like that could be all over the place in Andor Season 2, especially because in the 3 trailers that we've gotten for Andor Season 2, we haven't once seen K2 speak or K2 with Cassian or anything like that. And it's likely that early on in Season 2, K2 is going to become at least a rebel and friends with Cassian, and then we'll get to see that relationship grow over the course of Season 2. So all of this, from all the trailers that we've gotten for Andor Season 2, is avoiding the surprise, if you will. It's keeping the secret, as Lucasfilm knows to do very well. And K2SO is not being kept a secret because we know he will be in Season 2. We know that for a fact. But it's how they become friends. It's how he goes from being built by the Empire to a rebel. That's what's being kept a secret. Yeah. Obviously, not to mention, we'll also be getting Luthen's backstory, Luthen's death, Bix's probable death, all these other characters' deaths, and some characters surviving. Yeah. I Hodja with a very generous $5 haul. You guys are insane. I appreciate it. Says this is a $5 Hodja holla. Okay. A battle droid impression, please, of Did We Win? And a Hodja over and out. Battle droid. A battle droid. You say? Huh. Did we win? I can't think of how a battle droid sounds in my head. I can and I can't. Battle droid saying, did we win? That is not at all what I typed in, chat. Hang on. Battle droid. I think my hand was shifted on the keyboard or something because none of those were right. Okay. I can't find just him saying, did we win? But let's just try this.
Well, it's my programming.
Well, it's my programming. Did we win? Did we win? I don't know. It's the best I got. I can't find that. There's only like 10-minute videos of droids being funny. Which, I mean, can't beat that, but, you know. I appreciate it, Ihaja. I really, really do. Okay. The Shadow of Memories Skywalker Nighttime Show is the nighttime show for the Season of the Force at Disneyland. There's a video on YouTube. Okay, let's check that out. Let's check that out. Is it on the... It's not on the Star Wars YouTube. It's not on the Star Wars YouTube. I don't know where it is. But while you find where that is, send it to the Discord if you can find it. If you are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join that immediately. Okay. But this was pretty funny. Talking about Omega, because she was brought up already once in the stream. Omega actress Michelle Ang, the voice of Omega, shared a new photo of her wearing a shirt. And that shirt says, Tech lives. Now, honestly, I do not think that this will be true. I don't think Tech actually is alive. But this is sort of like George Lucas wearing the shirt that says Han Solo shot first, or Han shot first, after everybody was saying that Han shot first. And he was sort of making a joke about it. This is sort of something along those lines. Tech is obviously not dead, but it is funny that she posted this because this is the 2-year anniversary of Tech dying. This happened 2 years ago today. So RIP to Tech. Throughout all of Season 3, so many of you guys thought that he was going to come back. He was going to be that, what were they called? Something, clone assassins, maybe? Whatever they were. Those clone assassins. We thought he was going to be back as a bad guy in Season 3, but that never happened. That never happened. So RIP Tech. He does not live. He is most definitely dead. Lee with a 7-month membership badge. I appreciate that, Lee. I really, really do. So there you go. That happened 2 years ago today. Pretty wild stuff. Yeah. Okay. Now, wait, what? What? Oh. Okay. Let's talk about what? Oh, never mind. We're good. We're good. We're good. Sorry. I thought we just lost the stream for a second there. We're good. So let's talk about season 2 and the possibility of these cameos. As much of you are bringing up, is it possible to see Cal Kestis? Will we see Vader? Will we see Palpatine? Now, Palpatine is on the thumbnail for this video for a reason, okay? I think it is highly likely, and I'm going to put my claim on this, sort of, that I think Palpatine will be in this season. 24 days out, I can say certainly that I think Palpatine will be in this season. Vader, not so much. The controversy this week has been, was Dedra being force choked by Vader? And we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. But to me, it seems far more likely that Palpatine will be in Andor Season 2 than even a character like Darth Vader. Now, there's a lot of reasons as to why. It's on Coruscant. It's in the Senate. Mon Mothma is directly calling him out, and we'll get to that too. But let's not forget that Palpatine is not in Rogue One. He's not. And when you think about it, because I put a lot of thought into this before today's live stream, Palpatine is not really in Star Wars much. I know, that sounds crazy. When you look at the prequel trilogy, obviously he's in that a lot. He's playing both sides of the war. He's doing all this crazy stuff. Great. He's in that quite a bit. Once you move past the prequel trilogy era, he's really not in it a lot. He's in Kenobi for one scene as a hologram. He's in Rebels once in season 4 as a hologram. He's in... Is that it? Until the original trilogy? That's it. So then the original trilogy comes around. He's not in A New Hope. He's a hologram in The Empire Strikes Back. And then he's finally in Return of the Jedi, where he dies. Then he shows back up in The Rise of Skywalker. And that's it. So yes, he's a main character and he's all over the prequel trilogy, but he has very few appearances from the prequel trilogy on, because he's only in the original trilogy for like 2 seconds in The Empire Strikes Back and then for a lot of Return of the Jedi. But he's not really in the original trilogy as much as you remember him being, I guess. He's not in Rogue One. He's not in Andor Season 1. So that honestly makes me think even more so that he will be in Andor Season 2. Because, first of all, fans love a good comeback. When Ewan McGregor comes back, when Hayden Christensen comes back to their iconic roles of Obi-Wan and Anakin, everybody loves it. The Kenobi show was massive because of it. Hayden Christensen comes back to the role in Ahsoka. Everybody loves it. They're probably going to come back for Ahsoka Season 2. Everybody loves it. Ian McDiarmid came back for Kenobi. Everybody loved it. Liam Neeson comes back for... Everybody loves it. Ian McDiarmid is a fan favorite actor when it comes to Star Wars, and any chance you have to bring him into Star Wars, you should use it. And there's probably not many chances left. Like we talked about today, Andor Season 2 is the final piece to the puzzle of this time period of the rebellion. There's probably not going to be any more projects, at least in live action, that take place around this time period. So to allow Palpatine to appear once more, maybe forever. Like, Palpatine could appear more in the Mandoverse if you're trying to set up somehow Palpatine returned, set him up on Exegol and all that stuff. Yeah, sure. But in this time period, in this time of rebellion, this might be the last time to ever see Palpatine in Andor Season 2. Vader, you could show up in any other show or wherever. There's always good Vader content. And maybe he is in Andor Season 2 too. I don't know. But we're talking about Palpatine specifically. Will Palpatine be in Andor Season 2? Now, with that being said, with my logic being played out a little bit, and we're going to watch the trailer too, and that's even more evidence to suggest why I think he'll be in it too. But let's put up a poll in the chat. And by the way, 96% of you say, yes, you are excited for Andor Season 2. That's pretty good numbers, and that's where we want to live right now. That's where we want to be. But with that being said, do you think Palpatine, there we go, will be in Andor Season 2? Yes or no? You can make the argument, he's not even in Rogue One, Mike. He's not even in Rogue One. True, but Rogue One doesn't take place on Coruscant like Andor Season 2 will. Andor Season 1 also took place on Coruscant a lot, but there was mention of Palpatine quite a bit. And throughout the entire first season of Andor, I was expecting to see Palpatine, and we didn't. We got mention of him time and time again, but we never actually saw him. And I think they're waiting for Season 2 to sort of show him, I guess. Yeah. Mon gets denounced somehow. Yeah, Mon Mothma is going to be run out of town. She's going to blame the entire Gorman Massacre on Palpatine. You don't think he's going to have to show up to sort of back himself up, to sort of tell Mon Mothma she's wrong and then make her leave? Much like he does in the Bad Batch Season 2. Now that brings us perfectly to the trailer. So this trailer was released this week. Again, this was a crazy week for Star Wars fans. We are at the end of this week, but it was quite the week, to say the least. Because this trailer dropped on Monday, and fans went wild. Here we go.
I came with you to be part of something.
We're going to skip through a bunch of this, but the Gorman Massacre, of course, is vastly important to this second season.
We must stand together. We will be crushed.
Resistance is absurd.
It's a weapon. They're building a weapon. The monster will come for us all.
Okay, we'll get to this Force choke in a second. I know the whole big, is it Darth Vader? We get it, okay? We'll talk about it. But the monster will come for us all.
The monster will come for us all.
Mon Mothma specifically calling out Palpatine in the Senate. How is this going to go? How is this going to go? There is no way, in my mind, knowing the character of Palpatine, he's going to let this slide. Somebody calling him out specifically in the Senate building after he just slaughtered, not Palpatine specifically, but the Empire just slaughtered thousands of innocent people on Gorman. He has to appear. Has to make this all right. Or else he's just going to lose it. Like he's going to lose all the people in the galaxy. He has to say something. And this has the perfect opportunity to have one of the greatest writers we've ever had work on Star Wars, Tony Gilroy, write for a character so iconic like Palpatine. Imagine I guess a speech, let's say, for lack of a better word, from Palpatine in the Senate building, denouncing everything that Mon Mothma is claiming about the Gorman Massacre being the Empire's fault, in somehow twisting all this for the Empire's benefit, as Palpatine always does. He's a genius. And that's clear throughout the prequel trilogy, throughout the original trilogy, in all of it. But you have the opportunity to have a writer like Tony Gilroy work with a character like Palpatine. And that would be absolutely insane. Now, I want to bring up one of the images that was released months and months and months ago for Andor Season 2. Let me see this real quick. But it's the image where... Oh, hang on. There we go. It's the image where Mon Mothma is with Luthen, where stormtroopers are pretty much escorting her out of Coruscant. Let's take a look at this. Where the hell are these? That's not it. Where is it? Oh, here we go. This image right... Oops. This image right here. They released 14 images for Andor. And this one. Mon Mothma with Luthen, which is very strange too, where stormtroopers seem to be escorting her out of Coruscant. At least that's what it looks like to me. I don't even know. But this was released, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and it's still the most important thing that we've seen from the marketing. Still. There's a bunch of other images here. They're all cool, but they're not like that important. I guess this one is, because this is the same scene where she's getting force choked, possibly by Vader, but we'll get to that in a sec. But this one, where stormtroopers are right behind them. This is the leader of the rebellion. This is the girl who's funding the rebellion and also a leader of the rebellion. And the two of them are in the same room with at least 6 stormtroopers. What the hell's going on here? Luthen's wearing a Sith cape? Oh, I don't think so. He's just wearing a cape, you know? Doesn't have to be a Sith cape. Doesn't have to be a Sith cape. Ron, what's up? How we doing? Yeah. Oh, hang on. We missed the super chat? Hang on. Hang on, chat. Oh, Lee with a very generous $5 holla. I appreciate you. Says, love you. Can I please get a hall pass for my trip to Japan in 3 days? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Let me write that up for you. Yeah, no, Lee, I'm insanely jealous that you're going to Japan. Honestly, though, I was invited and I said no. So, not invited by Star Wars or Lucasfilm or anything like that. No, sorry. That sounded like I was like, oh, I'm a nice, I got invited. No, somebody, another content creator invited me very, very generously. And I politely declined because I got to cover all this stuff and I got to cover it from home. So I can't really cover it in Japan. However, with that being said, Lee, you will be our boots on the ground over there at at Star Wars Celebration. So yeah, absolutely. And do a balatik. I forget what he says now. Han Solo. Kanji Club. He says the Kanji Club line, doesn't he? I can't remember what he says. Kanji Club. The Kanji Club. 50,000 credits to Kanji Club. Something like that. I appreciate it, Lee, though. You do have to be our boots on the ground, though, there. If anything doesn't get released publicly, we must know about it. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I agree, Mike. Palpatine won't take lightly the senator calling him out specifically. I don't think Mon Mothma, Perrin, and her daughter will get arrested. Oh, I also think they will get arrested. Well, what's weird about that, too, is Mon Mothma's not with her daughter and her husband in the original trilogy when we see her. Also not in Rogue One either. So something happens where she's either split up from her family or their family like leaves her, or I don't even know. Her daughter already hates her. Her husband seems to be done with her anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if they almost like split up, you know? I think Luthen was a rogue Sith. Oh, I don't know about that. Yes, Luthen's backstory is going to be crazy. It's going to be great. But a Sith Lord, I don't know. He does have all those things in his gallery, a Sith holocron, Jedi holocron too, and all those crazy other things. But I don't think it's likely that he will be a Sith or a Jedi. If he's a Force user at all, I'd be surprised. Yeah, I don't know. What do we think, chat? Is it possible that Luthen will be a Jedi or a Sith? What do we think? Oh, Rose with the very generous $5 holla. I appreciate that. Rose says, I'll lose my mind if Palpatine rises out of the Senate floor like when Senator Chuchi calls out Rampart's treachery. Palpatine impression, please. Well, I tried my Palpatine impression earlier, but I'll do it again for you. Let's do Order 66.
Execute Order 66.
Execute Order 66. Hey, it's getting better. That's getting better.
Execute Order.
Execute Order 66. Oh, wait, where did I go? Chat, I'm gone. I'm invisible.
Execute Order 66.
Oh, we're back. Damn it, Rose, you almost broke the stream. Okay, but I appreciate it. Yeah, it would be insane. If Palpatine rises up from the middle of the Senate building when Mon Mothma is calling him out, like, hey, what's up, buddy? You know what? I'm not going to take your crap anymore, and you know what? You're going to be out of here. Unlimited power! No, that would be crazy. It'll be wild. It'll be so wild. And I think right here in the trailer when she's saying the monster will come for us all. That's his perfect entrance time.
The monster will come for us all.
Boom. Pause. Pause. The music goes crazy. The floor opens up and Palpatine rises. You just hear bum 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 bum. It'd be wild. Yeah. Exactly. But since we've accidentally shown it a couple times, let's talk about it. This week was so crazy for Star Wars news. It really was. Uncle Harlow equals Palpatine? Now that would be a twist. But no. Is she being force choked by Darth Vader? What do we think? Why did Luthen give a Kyber crystal to Andor? What's the purpose of that? In hindsight, it seems pointless. It was sort of just to give him a way out, or at least a trusting piece of merchandise, I guess. It was like, you trust me. If you don't trust me, here, I'll give you a thing worth, what was it, 50,000 credits? I'll give you this thing worth 50,000 credits just for the heck of it. And that hopefully will make you trust me. Yeah. So, with that being said, is this Vader force choking Dedra? Yes or no? Should we pull this up? Should we pull it up in the chat? Should we pull it up? Honestly, you guys have made me think more and more because of this trailer with this scene right here.
Resistance.
Of what looks like Krennic interrogating Dedra down here. It looks like Dedra might turn to become a rebel. Just because of that and maybe being force choked by Vader. I don't know. Craziness. But let's pull it up. Let's put up a poll. Why not? Wow. Actually, 71% of you guys think that Palpatine will be in this. Hey, I'm one of you. I think he will be in season 2, but I didn't think you guys would be on my side on that one. There you go. What are you going to do? All right, let's put this in. Let's put up a poll. Last time we polled this, by the way, it was 51 to 49. 51% of you saying yes, she was force choked. 49% saying no, she's panic attack or whatever other explanation there is. Do you think Dedra is being force choked by Vader? Yes or no? Yes or no? And let's take another look at it. To me, she's clearly looking at something. She's clearly got a lot of fear in her eyes. She's grasping at her neck. It's a 1-second scene.
Revolution is not for the...
Very, very quick. Lucasfilm knows that if they put 1-second scenes in trailers like this, it makes us think that there's something crazy going on there. And also, it makes us think, because Vader's iconic move, I guess his iconic dance move, is the force choke. So if you put somebody getting choked in a trailer or look like they're getting choked in a trailer, it makes us think she's getting force choked by Vader. So it makes me think that clearly Lucasfilm knew what they were doing here. Clearly they knew that fans would lose their minds and think that she was getting force choked. And it would make people think that Vader's going to be in this show. Fearless says, or that she just had a meeting with Palpatine and it went wrong. Okay, interesting. PTSD, panic attack. As the son of a Vietnam veteran, it happens. I believe you with that. And it's possible that this is her just having a panic attack. She's like, she needs to loosen her collar because she's having a panic attack. I get that. And that could be happening. My sort of rebuttal to that is, why put that in the trailer when you know that fans are going to lose their minds? You know that Vader's thing is force choke, and it's a possibility that Darth Vader will be in this show. Lucasfilm's not dumb. They know what they're doing. They know. I believe it's Daddy Palpatine choking her. Okay. Papa Palps. Papa Palpatine choking her would be a little bit more crazy because, well, Palpatine doesn't usually force choke people in Star Wars, and him being there, just a force choker, would be absolutely insane. Yeah. Damien says, now I'm thinking panic attack. After seeing the massacre and she is having a change of position, that she might be going to the rebellion. Interesting. So you think she might be going to the rebellion now because she saw the massacre happen? Okay. Well, here's the thing. I just pushed so hard for the my thought of Palpatine being in this second season. All those different reasons that we talked about for probably the last 20 minutes. And I do think Palpatine will be in season 2. Vader, on the other hand, it fully depends on this scene. If she's not being force choked, if this is just a, I guess, red herring, as many of you are saying, then I don't think Vader will be in this second season. I don't. I think they'll just save him for Rogue One. I don't think he'll be in season 2. However, if this is Dedra being force choked by Vader, we might get a lot of Vader in season 2. Not just one scene of him force choking Dedra. That wouldn't, obviously, why? You know? There'd be a lot of Vader. And let's not forget, these are very secretive trailers. Not really showing us much at all. Maybe a little bit of the Gorman Massacre, a little bit of Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding. But what it's setting up, like Diego Luna just talked about, like we just read for the first hour of the stream, Diego Luna saying how important this second season is to what happens in Rogue One. Well, what happens in Rogue One is we see Vader. We see the creation of the Death Star and how powerful it is in the rebellion, learning about that Death Star and how it's connected to Krennic and Vader and Galen Erso. So maybe, just maybe, because we see Krennic in this stuff, we see all that, it's possible we get Vader and maybe even Tarkin along with him. Maybe even a little bit of Tarkin too. Now, the only reason I don't think Tarkin will be in season 2 is because Tarkin takes over the Death Star from Krennic. But that's not until the events of Rogue One. So that's not really... Tarkin's not around yet, I don't think. Well, he's around, obviously, but I don't think he's around Krennic yet. However, in canon, he is responsible for the Gorman Massacre. We know that Tarkin lands a ship on the pedestrians. So maybe Tarkin will be in season 2. I don't know. Could be an Inquisitor. I've heard that theory too. Could be an Inquisitor force choking her. I don't know. The Inquisitors sort of go out of style by this time. At least getting close to this time. By the time of the original trilogy, the Inquisitors are gone. Either dead or not Inquisitors anymore. But Star Wars Rebels, they're still Inquisitors, and that is very close to the original trilogy in this time period of Andor Season 2 too. So maybe it's Reva? Oh my god. That would be an insane twist. That would be an insane twist. I mean, Reva does survive the events of Kenobi. No, it's definitely not Reva. Yeah. Hang on, we got a super chat. I Haja with a very generous $2 holla says it's a Redra herring. Okay. Move along. Well, it's clearly there on purpose. It's clearly there to make fans go crazy. Right after she says the monster's coming for us all, she's getting force choked. So we've been talking about these as two sort of separate scenes.
The monster will come for
This, her talking about Palpatine being the monster will come for us all.
us all.
And then this, her being force choked by Vader, or possibly force choked by Vader. But these might be connected in back-to-back scenes on purpose. Mon Mothma is saying the monster will come for us all, and it does look like she's being force choked by Vader. The two aren't coincidentally next to each other. It's obviously there for a purpose. They really know what they're doing here with these trailers. Obviously. So Dedra being force choked, or looking like she's being force choked, right after Mon Mothma says that the monster is coming for us all, it does make you think that she's talking about Vader a little bit. As Lobo says, Vader is the monster. At this point in the Star Wars timeline, Vader is seen across the galaxy as a scary monster. You don't want to come face to face with Vader. He is horrifying. He's like a nightmare. However, I don't think Mon Mothma's going to go face to face with Vader. I don't think she's going to have any sort of relationship with Darth Vader. She blames the Gorman Massacre on Palpatine, not Vader. So, although these two scenes seem connected, I don't think they really are. Maybe they're talking about two separate monsters, Vader and Palpatine. They are a 1-2 punch. It is master and apprentice. But I don't know. You tell me in the chat.
Will come for us us all.
The monster will come for us all. And let's not forget, we did just talk about this. This is the same room. So Dedra, looking all serious and I guess badass, if you will, is in the same room being force choked. So how does she go from this, very serious, seemingly very calm, if she is having a panic attack, to this, seemingly moments later? That even makes me believe more so that she's being force choked by Vader here. You know? Dedra looks around nervously, so it seems like she could be, that somebody's force choking her from the shadows. Maybe Luthen, if he turns out to be Jedi? That would be insane. No, I don't think so. I will say, though, it does look like she looks to the left a little bit here. Her left. Right there. So maybe it's like Vader's in front of her, and then he's walking away. The left. Her eyes seem to be following something to the left there. Or maybe somebody's walking into the room just closer to her to the left. Like Vader's force choking her and then moves this way, walking towards her. And maybe he walks around her in a circle like the villains always do. They always like to go behind you for some reason. Get all up close and personal. But yeah, her eyes definitely move to the left there. For sure. And I have no idea what this is. I mean, this is like Cassian and some others looking in a sewer or something. But that's a whole other thing for a whole other time. Yeah, she does move to the left for sure. But what is this room? Like, what is this? There's some sort of control panel behind her. I thought it could have been a prison at one point because the walls look very prison-y, but there is some sort of panel thing behind her. I don't know what's going on there. What do we think? When you have a panic attack, your eyes aren't focused on anything. True. I feel like her eyes may be closed if she was having a panic attack, but she is clearly looking at something and then looking to the left as something moves to the left. Possibly something moves to the left. But what is this room? I mean, she's just in some random room here because earlier in the trailer, when she's being interrogated or whatever's happening with Krennic. Here. Where is that scene?
Crushed. Resistance.
In this room, this is the same prison, or I guess interrogation room, if you will, where Dedra interrogates Cyril in the first season. Let me try and find that real quick. So in episode 7, I think it is, when she interrogates Cyril, is it 7? Yeah, it's got to be 7. In episode 7, when she interrogates Cyril, when does that happen? Maybe it's in episode 6. Oh, wait. It's in episode 8. In episode 8, when she interrogates Cyril, like I said before. Yeah, perfect. Here it is. When this scene happens, when Cyril's being interrogated by Dedra, boom, perfect. This is the same room right here that Dedra is being interrogated by Krennic in. That's pretty wild. First of all, why is she being interrogated by Krennic? What could she possibly have done? And well, the answer to that is most likely the Gorman Massacre, as Krennic is going to be having to deal with the Gorman Massacre. Also, another reason why we could see a character like Tarkin or Vader or Palpatine is because Krennic is going to get some orders to cover this up. The Gorman Massacre is going to have to be dealt with on the Imperial side of things, because while Mon Mothma is calling the Senate and the Empire monsters, the Empire has to deal with that. They have to deal with the backlash of the Gorman Massacre. And if it's true that Dedra is the one who makes the call, if Dedra is the one who pulls the trigger and makes the Gorman Massacre happen, well, then she might be the one who gets blamed for it. And Krennic might be have to be the one to deal with her, which would be insane. It would be absolutely insane. Yeah. Andrew says, yeah, I think that she screwed up with the massacre, and it did but it wouldn't have been her fault. I think Luthen starts it. I do think that Luthen sort of forces the hand of the Empire. That's what he talks about quite a bit in the first season of the show, is how he's forcing the hand of the Empire to make a move. He's making them make a decision that they don't want to make. And that's pretty important. And again, like Diego Luna said, and like the title of this live stream, that changes so much about what the rebellion is and what it looks like in Rogue One. Because Cassian learns from that guy. The reason Cassian's so cold-blooded and a murderer and doesn't really care for anybody in Rogue One is because of what happens in Andor Season 2. Is because of what Luthen teaches him. How you're pretty much committing your whole life to this cause for a sunrise that you will never see. Yeah. But to see Krennic interrogating Dedra is very strange. Very strange. Because why does this happen? That would be so wild. Swagger Like Us says, imagine Vader said this: "Be careful to not choke on your aspirations, Dedra." It'd be crazy. Because absolutely, she is the one, much like Cyril. Two are very similar characters. Dedra just has a higher up command, I guess. Cyril tries to take control himself and track down Cassian in Season 1, and he gets reprimanded for that. Dedra is trying to find this rebellion and show the Empire that this rebellion exists, and she might get reprimanded for that in Season 2, much like Cyril did in Season 1. I'm literally now just calling him Cyril. Mine as well. Yeah. Maybe Luthen has toys like Batman in the DC universe, but no force powers, just the toys. I think so. I don't think that Luthen is going to be a Jedi or a Force user of any kind, for that matter. Yeah. Someone has a theory that Dedra could be tortured like Bix was. That would be tough. I mean, yeah, Dedra does torture her in the first season, but an eye for an eye like that would be pretty devastating. Yeah. Yeah. I want to know why Tarkin said to Krennic, you have made time and ally of the you've made time an ally of the rebellion. I don't recall the line. When does he say that? Obviously in Rogue One, but when in Rogue One is more of the question.
It's absurd.
See, there we get K2SO, but this is it. This is all we get of K2SO.
It's a weapon. They're built.
And you got to talk about the Death Star too. Because if Dedra knows about the Death Star, and like many of you are theorizing, she turns to the rebellion, well, then maybe that's how Clea in this scene here knows about the weapon. Because Cassian doesn't know about it in Rogue One.
It's a weapon.
But she knows about it. It's a weapon.
They're building a weapon.
They're building a weapon, the Death Star. Now, the Death Star is going to be a big component of this second season. And obviously, it leads into Rogue One even more. It being finished and being built here, as you can tell. This might be a flashback, because isn't it being fully built at the end of Season 1? I don't know. But the fact that now when you see the Death Star, now when you see Cassian and Jyn die on the beaches of Scarif in Rogue One, you now know in the back of your head that he actually helped build the damn thing. He was imprisoned in Season 1 of Andor and helped build the whole damn thing. That's crazy. That is really crazy. And they might even build upon that even more in Season 2, with characters finding out about the Death Star but never actually making it to Cassian or making it to the rebellion to inform them of it. It'd be pretty wild. Maybe Dedra knows about the Death Star and leaves the Empire and tries to tell the rebellion about it, but she doesn't know enough information. Possibly. We're definitely getting more Death Star. Yeah, absolutely. For sure. How does Kino Loy play a part in Andor Season 2? I have no idea. That's the thing. We think we know a lot about this second season. We don't. We absolutely do not. We know that Krennic will be in it. We know the Death Star will be a part of it. We know that the Gorman Massacre will be a part of it. We know that somehow Mon Mothma leaves the Senate and becomes a full-on rebel for good. But other than that, we don't really know much. The Gorman Massacre is going to be one arc. Mon Mothma's daughter's wedding will be one arc. They might even be the same arc. And that leaves 3 other arcs of God knows. Like, who the hell knows? What could it be about? Much like season 1, we had no idea what season 1 was going to be about. And we got some insanely cool things like the Aldhani arc, the Narkina 5 arc. So where does Kino Loy fit into this? I see him being alongside of Saw Gerrera, which we'll also be getting a lot of. In this trailer, we see Saw Gerrera on Jeddah, where we see him in Rogue One. This is Jeddah in the background. He's likely either in or near the old Jedi Temple, which, by the way, that'll be cool to see again. And there's a Star Destroyer over there above the city. Like, we're going to get so much in this second season. Fearless says, how am I going to survive another 24 days until season 2? Well, this is how we survive. We just try to speculate the shit out of it. We get new trailers like we got this week. We talk about interviews like Diego Luna saying that this is going to change Rogue One forever. That's how we do it. We get more and more marketing. Yeah. Tony Gilroy said that this season has double the speaking parts, over 400. What? How's that even possible? Think about it. Think about all the people that were in season 1. Granted, a lot of them died, like the Aldhani people and the Narkina 5 people, but think about it. There's so many characters, and there's going to be even more in this second season. That'd be crazy. Yeah. That's true. Lee's going to Japan for Star Wars Celebration. That's also true. You can survive the next 24 days with Star Wars Celebration, because Star Wars Celebration is going to be a big deal as well. Crazy announcements. True. I think Luthen and Saw will have to have a hand in accelerating the massacre. Okay, interesting. Hence Mon Mothma's feelings towards Saw and the rebels. Maybe she cuts ties with Luthen too. Interesting. You do start to see a little bit of that in season 1, where Mon Mothma and Luthen have conversations where they're not really on the same page. Like, he is responsible for Aldhani, and she's not happy about that. Like, he did that without her approval, kind of. So she might actually cut ties with Luthen. That would be pretty wild, because he has something to do with the Gorman Massacre and kill it, because she wants to save everybody. But Luthen knows that they have to sacrifice to make this happen. Interesting. Scratch says, I wonder if we're going to get a reference to the mission from In the Names of the Rebellion episode of Rebels. Just one line. Like Saw says, 2 young rebels helped me learn about Jeddah. That's true too. Isn't Saw Gerrera in Rebels? Hang on. Saw in Rebels. I forgot about that too. Oh my God, I gotta rewatch Rebels. Saw Gerrera's in Rebels. Mon Mothma's in Rebels. And that's when she leaves the Coruscant too. So when we talk about cameos, do I think we'll see the Rebels crew? Probably not, but it's not impossible. It's really not impossible when you think about it that way. Because Mon Mothma's in Rebels, Saw Gerrera's in Rebels, and those 2 stories are very interlocked with this Andor Season 2. Like, those 2, especially Mon Mothma's, that's like the Rebels are the ones who rescue her from Coruscant, pretty much. They pick her up and bring her to Yavin 4. That's important. So either the story around that is going to be told in Andor Season 2, and they'll just allude to the fact that that Rebels episode happened, or we'll actually see the Rebels crew in the show, in live action, which would be wild. We are going to Yavin 4. We don't get much of Yavin 4 in these trailers, but we are going to Yavin 4. So Yavin 4 might be a crazy place for a lot of different cameos. Rebels crew, Leia Organa, Bail Organa. I don't know if they'll go Leia, because we haven't even seen Leia in the Mandoverse, and we've definitely had the opportunity to. So who knows? Saw was on the Death Star and using Kyber as a weapon for like the whole Imperial period. What you talking Season 2 is enhancing Rogue One, and Rebels adds even more details. Yeah, true. Well, I mean, Rebels isn't directly connected to Rogue One per se, but it's definitely involved with the building of the rebellion. Yeah. Can we get some good cups full of orders in the chat, please? Bum-ba. Absolutely. Forrest Whitaker in Star Wars equals outstanding. Absolutely. We're going to get a lot more Saw in season 2 for sure. Yeah. We need to see Mon Mothma's escape. Oh, we definitely will. That's what season 2 is going to be all about. You know? Borg Gullet will now tell the truth. Yeah. Holy crap, that's a lot of good customer orders. I just remember when it used to just be like 1 or 2, and now it's like 20 at least. I appreciate it. Yeah. A Rebels rewatch? Oh, absolutely. I'm down for that. Yeah. Saw is such an interesting character too, because this is probably the last time we'll see him in Andor season 2 because he dies in Rogue One. But he's around since the Clone Wars. I mean, we see him throughout the Clone Wars. We see him in the Bad Batch. We see him in Rebels, in Andor, and in Rogue One. We see him all the way through. And he just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Rebels is my favorite animated series. Mine too. Rebels is so underrated. There's a time where I'd sit here on live streams and I'd just say, if you haven't seen Rebels, you're out of your goddamn mind. But it seems like a lot of you guys, obviously now that there's a lot more of you in the chats, have seen it. So I'm sort of, if you haven't seen Rebels, go watch it immediately. Did you see the video of Luke's meet and greet at Galaxy's Edge? Yes, I did. So if you guys don't know this, a little bit off topic, but still, it's Star Wars news nonetheless. Luke Skywalker is now officially at Galaxy's Edge at Star Wars at Disneyland Parks. So this is Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 at Galaxy's Edge. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty cool. Indeed. So honestly, when you look at the future of Star Wars content, obviously Andor's in 24 days, but beyond that, this is, like I mentioned before, the end, so to speak, of this time period. This rebellion time period, this is the end of it. This is it. We're done with it forever after this, which is sad and I guess cool at the same time. But even still, when you look at the future of content that will be announced at Star Wars Celebration, none of it's going to be involved in this Andor time period. At least not within the last 5 years before A New Hope. Yeah. All right, but before we get on out of here, because we're going to get on out of here pretty soon, we have to do the giveaway, okay? Don't you think I forgot? If you are not yet a member, this is your final chance to become a member and get a chance to win this insanely cool Stormtrooper helmet from Art Sabers. It will fit your head, I can guarantee you that. But we are doing this giveaway. We're doing it because of Andor Season 2. Stormtrooper helmet, Andor Season 2. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Stormtroopers in Andor Season 2. But if you're not yet a member, you can join right now and steal it from all the other people, and it'll be pretty funny. But if you don't know how this works, we spin this wheel, and whoever it lands on does win that Stormtrooper helmet. Let me pull up the list of members really quickly. If you are not yet a member, this is your final chance to win the Stormtrooper helmet. Let me, that's not what I wanted. Okay, there we go. Members. See all members. Wow, we have 109 members. That's absolutely insane. So let's take a look at this. If you see your name on this list, by the way, this would 109 members. So there's actually 2 pages of this, which is crazy. We got now pages of members. So this is the Cat's Paw would be number 1, all the way to 109 would be John. So all the way from 1 to 109. If you see your name on this list, you got a 1 in 109 chance of winning that Stormtrooper helmet. It still does that weird, stupid scroll thing down. I don't know why, but it goes back to the top. So we'll have to spin that wheel and just I'll count it out so you guys don't, Yeah. What's your number? I have no idea. I don't know what your number is. We'll have to go through it together. Yeah. Hopefully it's not a number like 50 because that would really suck. Hopefully it's like a 5 or a 92 or something like that. But we'll see. So 109. This is your final chance. Final chance. Or we are spinning this wheel. 109. Boom. Look at all those numbers. It's crazy. Okay. Random number, random digit. What the hell's the difference? I don't know. Okay. Are we ready, chat? Should we spin the wheel? Next up is 150 members, and then 100, and then 200 members. All right, final chance. Stormtrooper helmet is up for grabs. Here we go. Here we go. This is what the giveaway is. Spin the wheel. 1,000 members would be insane. Would be insane. Oh, we got a very low number. Holy crap. 4. That's crazy. Okay, let's go back over to our list here. I don't know if we've ever had a number that low. 4 is very low. Cat's Paw's 1. John Groom 2. Cole is 3. Is that right? Yeah, 3. Jessica is number 4. Jessica, you have 1. Jessica Fasten. I know we have a couple Jessicas, I think, as members, but Jessica Fasten has 1. Jessica, you in the chat today? I don't know if I've seen Jessica Fasten in the chat today. I don't think Jessica's here, but Jessica, hit me up on Instagram or Discord or wherever so we can get that out to you as soon as possible. Congratulations to Jessica. You have won the Stormtrooper helmet. Congrats, Jessica. Appreciate all the members, of course, all 109 of you. It's so insanely generous. I try and give back to you guys every single month with these cool giveaways, but also membership-only live streams and all these other cool things like the badges that you get in the chat and all that fun stuff. So, and there's even more coming. Don't you worry about that. We like to take care of our own over here. But I appreciate it. I really, really do. I really, really do. So congrats to Jessica. Let me write it down so I don't forget. Jessica Fasten, winner. Boom. Got it. Okay. Perfect. Wow. Take a look at this poll in the chat. Take a look at this poll in the chat. I'm going to end it now. Do you think Dedra is being force choked by Darth Vader? 52% of you say no. 48 say yes. We are still split right down the middle on this whole Vader choking thing, and I don't think it's going to change until the show comes out. However, there could be another trailer here or there that, could give us a little bit more information into that, but we'll see. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty split down the middle. The other day, it was 51-49 yes, and now it's 52-48 no. So it's switched a little bit, but even still. Yeah. How many episodes are we rewatching for Andor Season 1 tomorrow? Just 1. We're back to just 1 tomorrow. So tomorrow, I think we have, episode 9? So tomorrow for the members-only watch party, we are doing episode 9, Nobody's Listening. That's a pretty great one, actually. Second one of the Narkina 5 arc. Yeah. Indeed. Awesome. Awesome blossom. Mike, you should do a giveaway 1 month where you win a present to win. You must be present to win. Sorry. It'll drive up the viewers. I honestly don't know how to do that. So, yeah. I will try. I'll look into it. I will look into it. Yeah. Yeah. Andrew says, Jessica, please don't feel tempted to start an intergalactic war when you put the helmet on. That's pretty awesome. Okay. Yeah. So we do have to get on out of here pretty soon, but there was something else I wanted to get to before we... Oh, yeah, this was pretty cool. There's a new upcoming Star Wars novel that's coming at Star Wars Celebration, and this seems to be a tease at it, this is on, I guess, random. I don't even know what this is on. But ahead of Star Wars Celebration, sneak peek at an upcoming novel called Master of Evil. Sounds like a Palpatine novel to me, but I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see. We're going to get a lot of cool new shows, live action and animated ones at Star Wars Celebration, but there's still going to be novels and comics and other stuff that's announced in terms of content that should not be overlooked, but yeah, there you have it. There you have it. Was there anything else we wanted to get to today that I missed? Anything else that I missed, chat? Let's see. I don't think so. This is pretty cool, though. So you know how Anakin flashes between Anakin and Vader in Ahsoka? This was the Vader walk. So they had to film the Vader walk and the Anakin arc and then walk and then flash between them. See, that's why Ahsoka's so good, you know? That's why it's the best. But could Ahsoka be topping that? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Ahsoka Season 2 has started filming. Another Andor trailer this week. Like, we're just living it up as Star Wars fans over here. Will the Acolyte get a second season? I hope so, but I don't know. Still seems unlikely. But there's always hope, you know? There's always hope. However, we do have to get on out of here. I do have to finish up making a short for today. Did you guys watch the short yesterday? I loved that short I made yesterday. It was sort of the first time we ever done anything like that on the channel. I used AI for the transitions between Anakins, but it was a very different short than we usually do. It was a lot of fun to make, and it was pretty great. But it was sort of Anakin throughout the course of his life and all of his appearances in the movies, and then I put sort of an underlying song from Star Wars, the Force theme, and then I put different quotes from his life in different movies and stuff like that. It was pretty awesome. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out after this live stream. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah. But until next time, smash a freaking like on the stream. How many likes do we have on the stream? We were up around 100 viewers. We cracked 100 today, which was pretty cool. We rarely do that in between shows. So I appreciate it. We only have 64 likes on this. What the hell's going on, chat? Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video in my pretty face. We'll show up the recommended feed of yours. I mean, come on. Andor Season 2 trailer this week. Ahsoka Season 2 starts filming this week. Like, it was a wild, wild week for Star Wars content and to end off March, I guess, because this is the last stream of March. But into April, which is going to be the craziest month of the year so far for Star Wars content, as we're going to get Star Wars Celebration in 20 days. Insane announcements, trailers, all that crazy stuff. Then 4 days later, 24 days from now, Andor Season 2 premieres with 3 episodes, an Andor movie on April 22nd. And 3 days later, Revenge of the Sith returns to the movie theaters for the 20th anniversary on April 25th. It's going to be a wild month, April that is, and it's going to be pretty damn crazy for the channel too, because like I mentioned before, we got some wild, wild stuff going on here, and it may just involve me becoming an Imperial officer in the next What If that we are creating. And yes, that What If is coming out not this week, but sometime soon, hopefully, as this is your sneak peek at that. Me as an Imperial, hang on, let me fix that. Me as an Imperial officer, and well, let's just say I'm killing 2 iconic characters in Star Wars, or I'm the reason 2 iconic characters in Star Wars. But that's just me, you know, predicting more deaths as per usual. But you'll have to wait and see for yourselves when that is finished and done with. Let me see if I can give you another sneak peek at this. I do have something else here that's pretty cool. Let's see. Let's see. What else could I show you guys? Is this it? Got a little bit of a evil Luke Skywalker action going on over here. Luke, if he joined the Empire type deal. That's pretty cool. We also got Luke as a pilot for the Empire if you join the Academy. Yeah, we're working on some pretty crazy stuff over here. That's to say the least. Okay. Our next what if is going to be like none of the what ifs I've done before. It's going to be absolutely insane. And yeah, let's just say you're not going to want to miss it. Let's just say that. And we'll leave it at that. But you'll have to wait and see. So until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. And yeah, may the force be with you. Always. Oh yeah, what a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you will ever know. Huge shout outs to Darth Plagueis, Lives, Lee, Rose, I, Haja, Manda United, another Mike who loves Star Wars, Annie K, Troy, for the very generous super chats today. You guys are feeling extra generous. I appreciate it quite a bit. And huge shout out to Jessica for winning the giveaway. This was quite the fun stream, if I do say so myself. I don't know why. I was feeling extra good today. I was feeling extra fun today. This was a blast. So I appreciate you all so much more. Yes, thank you for the congratulations on 135,000 subscribers. Absolutely insane. I appreciate it. And yeah, let's keep the party going into April. Let's keep it going. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.